Hi, I'm Wanda with Jimmy Branch Homestead, and I thought I would just take a moment to kind of catch you up on what's going on with me and with the homestead. So, first of all, this is the first thing that I have filmed for 3 weeks. Yes, I have posted over the last couple of weeks, but those were filmed about 3 weeks ago. So, I have been in the hospital. I got out about a week and a half ago. I have sarcoidosis, which is very enlarged lymph nodes in my chest. I went to the hospital thinking I was having a heart attack because you get chest pain, and I was really having a difficulty breathing, a lot of shortness of breath, dizziness. So I kind of forgot what it felt like. I have had sarcoidosis for several years. I had a bad episode back around 2008, 2009, and we got that under control. And there is no cure for sarcoidosis. It's basically just very enlarged lymph nodes. Mine have always been in my chest between my lungs, so that kind of makes it more difficult to breathe when they're extra enlarged. But what I didn't know is that they can attack all your organs. And so that was news to me this time. So not only do I have them in my chest now, but I also have them in my stomach. So I will be going for biopsies on September 16th in St. Louis. And I'll kind of let you know how those come out as well. But in the meantime, we're just trying to treat the symptoms. And really the only treatment is pain meds if it's too bad, or also steroids to try and help shrink those. So I've been on really heavy duty steroids in the hospital. Plus I had pneumonia. So those have been watching my videos for quite a while know that I typically have a chronic cough, but it had progressively gotten worse and worse. So I was concerned about heart issues because those run in my family, actually on both sides of my family. So I was kind of getting that checked out. But then when I had such intense pain and difficulty breathing, like I said, I thought I was having a heart attack. So very scary. But I have been, like I said, back home for a little over a week and a half now. Still very weak. Get tired easily. When I'm working in the chicken coops now, I do wear a respirator to keep me from breathing in any of the particulates. So I have been busy as I can, just a little bit at a time, cleaning out chicken coops and those kind of things. So I think my last real videos was building the nest boxes and kind of separating out the chickens. One of the things I didn't show that I did over the last few days was I took the white chickens, the American breast that was in the chicken tractor, and put them in with Mr. and Mrs. Bob White in the white chicken coop. So I did get that done, got that coop cleaned out. Took me 2 days. Like I said, I just did a little at a time. I did inside the coop one day, I did outside the coop the next day. All the barred rocks are together. I think I already showed that. Unfortunately, yesterday evening, I did lose one of my white leghorns. So, which is sad because those are some of them that I just got in April. So I kind of looked her over. I didn't see any pecking. I didn't see any blood. It could have been an internal injury. It could have been a broken egg inside her. I felt around. I didn't feel any stuck egg inside her or anything. So unfortunately, it's a farm and homestead, and those kind of things do happen. last week I also lost one of my Easter eggers, and that was Sunshine. So she's one of my 3-year-old hens, and so that was pretty sad. Again, I felt around, didn't feel anything. So I'm keeping an eye on them. I'm giving them some vitamins to kind of help them ward anything off, and that kind of thing. But I did get a really good harvest yesterday. A lot of bell peppers and a layer of tomatoes. So I'm going to go ahead and try and get those taken care of. But again, I just kind of wanted to give you a quick update on that. I can take you around and show you outside and what's going on. The garden's almost done. Like I said, I'm still getting tomatoes, I'm still getting peppers, and will until it freezes. Some green beans. I replanted my cucumbers, but honestly, they're not doing much. I'm lucky to get one every couple of days, so it gives me a fresh one once in a while for salads or just fresh eating. But that's how that goes. So I'm finished my antibiotics, so my pneumonia should be gone. I'm not coughing a lot, but as we're cutting back the steroids, I'm noticing I'm coughing again more. So again, that's probably the sarcoidosis. And I also have asthma, so things complicate each other. But anyway, I'm gonna get these tomatoes taken care of real quick, and I'll be back. So my goal today, I didn't have a lot of tomatoes. I had too many fresh eating and not enough to really mess with canning. So I really just wanted to get them cleaned up and put into freezer bags. I'm going to throw them in the freezer, and that way as I get more tomatoes, I can keep adding to them until I have enough to run a canner load. Or I could also take them out and freeze dry them. But I have some other projects getting ready to go in the freeze dryer. So we're just going to put this in a gallon Ziploc today, or however many it takes. It might take 2. These little handy bag holders are make things a little bit easier when I'm filling these. So I think I just picked that up at Walmart or something. Let's see if I can do this without making a mess. Let's see. This over here where I got more room. Cupboards are always in the way. Well, I shouldn't have used such a big bowl. It was just handy. Okay, 1 gallon of diced tomatoes. So I just try to get most of the air out. And make sure it's sealed good. There. A gallon of tomatoes ready for the freezer. 1 project done. Well, I got all of the bell peppers cleaned up. I have a bowl of pieces here that I'm going to dice up and stick in the freezer with diced onions. I'm almost out of onions, so I get paid tomorrow. I'm probably going to cover this up and finish it tomorrow because I'm pretty tired. I've been on my feet for quite a while. So this one is a stuffed bell pepper kit. So it's basically scooped out bell peppers and with the tops chopped up to use in my bell pepper mix. So I do have a detailed video on making stuffed bell peppers on our playlist, so go ahead and check out our cooking playlist. I also have several videos on how I preserve all of these bell peppers, so feel free to go back and watch those as well. So it's so nice to see the bottom of the bucket here. And then this bowl is sliced up for my fajita mix. So again, I have several videos on preserving bell peppers. Some are freeze drying. I also do a lot of freezing. I like to make up fajita mixes. I like to make up bell pepper and onion diced mixes for cooking. And I stick those in the freezer. I typically vacuum seal those so that they last for well over a year. Although I usually eat most of them within that time frame, or we do. So I'm gonna call it a night. I'll pick this video up probably tomorrow and kind of walk around and give you an update on the homestead. But I'm gonna go ahead and get these peppers all covered up and in the refrigerator for tonight. Well, I had enough onions to go ahead and do the fajita mix part. So these are smaller packages than I typically do, but I thought it would be really nice if just one of us want to have some for a lunch or whatever. So that got me 5 meals for one person, plus the kit for stuffed bell peppers. And then I still have a bowl full to chop up when I get some more onions tomorrow for diced peppers and onions to cook with. And those will just be put in packages like this. And then I will open it and put it in a Ziploc and use out of the Ziploc. But for longer term storage, I like to vacuum seal everything. It keeps it from freezer burning. So that feels good to get that done. So all of the produce, the peppers and the onions are cut up, and these will all go in the freezer, and this will go in the refrigerator until, like I said, I get groceries tomorrow and get those done up. So I will check back with you tomorrow on this same video and kind of walk you around the homestead and give you an update on that. Well, it is actually a couple of days later. Yesterday I had to go get my feed for the month and also groceries. So I'm out here now. So this is Bob White, the big white rooster coming out. And there was just he and one other hen in this coop. And I just recently added the 6 new hens. So I call that his harem. So he has 7 hens in there now with him. And he is a happy camper. So this coop is, just a reminder, 8 by 8 for the coop inside, plus another 8 by 8 out here in the run. Only the one hen is laying, but the others should start anytime. So moving on down, we come to the Easter eggers. And I still haven't got around to doing any of the butchering. They all ran under the coop. So there is a black Easter egger rooster in this coop that I will be harvesting soon. Just to take him out of the flock. I have plenty of roosters, and I took his eggs from all his hens last time he incubated, and I ended up with several black hens. So I like to keep the colors varied. So he's going to go in the stew pot. So this is the tractor that I did have those 6 hens in until they got big enough to put in with Bob White. Don't know. You can see under there. Oops, the camera's turning on me. But several of them are hanging out under there. The coop does go under, or the run does go under this coop that gives them, you know, another 8 by 8 area. And they like hanging out there when it's hot. to get out of the sun. So this is the rooster coop. The red one, both red ones are going to end up getting harvested. I'm going to keep the big multicolor one. Plus I have another one about this color in another coop that I'm going to keep. And then there's another black one I got to harvest. So I'm still debating on the two oldest hens in this coop. They're currently going through a molt. But I'm trying to remember exactly how old they are. I just started the method of where I'm using the different colored tags. So they're not from this year or last year. I think they're from the year before, which should put them like 3 next April. So they cut back on their laying around then. So I'm trying to keep enough bred and hatched that every year I would just be harvesting the oldest ones. So coming into the garden area. This is the barred rock coop. Oopsie. And I got one rooster out of that batch that I got last April, so I'm glad about that. But he's a little ornery, so I'm trying to break him of, he likes to fly at my legs, and you know, several of these are very friendly. Let me pick them up. And I probably am going to harvest my 4 oldest ones because they were my very first chickens. And this year I only got 1 or 2 eggs a day out of 4 hens. So, you know, they've really slowed down. It's a little bittersweet because they were my first hens and, you know, kind of close with them. But so I did get cleaned up around the coop. I don't remember if I've showed this kind of thing. I've got a lot of repairs to do in the garden. Over here, last week, it was terrible. It was like great big huge patches of grass growing up in between. And it took me a full day pretty much to clean up all this mess around all the coops, but I got it done. And there was a lot of dirt, and there was a lot of shavings from the coop. But, the mice was bad. So I got that all cleaned up. And I also weed eated out in between the fence and this coop. So over here, I did have a big stack of tarps. It was a mess. That was from when I redid this coop and took all the old tarps off. And I just hadn't gotten around to folding them up and getting them disposed of. So finally got that done. Since I wasn't feeling good, you know, pretty much the last several weeks, some of that stuff just didn't get done. So we're trying to get her done now. So over here, I'm cleaning up a lot of the chicken stuff that I'm not using right now, and then it'll get put up for the winter in the garage. And as promised, I'm going to kind of walk you through the greenhouse and see what I still have going. Let's see. The morning watering just went, so it's pretty wet all over here right now. Okay, so my peppers are still going strong. Let's see if I can get that. And then I have some cucumbers that came up from the compost, so I went ahead and let them go. I'm getting one here or there, but really nothing to speak of. A lot of them I dug out and planted in the garden, and it was just so hot and dry that even with the automatic watering system, it just wasn't enough, and they died. I think I have 4 plants out there, but they're really not producing. These aren't really too much either. But I'm still getting plenty of peppers. I did a big harvest a couple days ago, so there's not too much right now. All of these right here are reds. They're our favorite peppers are the sweet red ones. And then I have banana peppers. They're pretty well done. Tomatoes are starting to look pretty shabby, but I'm still getting, this is cherry tomatoes. And this one, we had a big storm the night before I went to the hospital, and my ropes broke that I had all my tomatoes climbing up. So now I have a huge mess. They're just kind of laying all over, and I haven't figured out how to get them tied back up. So I've just been picking them as I can and just dealing with it. My sage is doing great. Oops. So I could really do a harvest of that. Over there is my lemon balm and my peppermint. So those are really good. I should harvest those again. See, I have a bunch of tomatoes down over here too. It's just a mess. The ropes I used just was not strong enough, and see, they just broke. That one just broke too. So I need to get a stronger twine. This is just a twine, and I don't, oh, see, that one broke too. Just barely touched it. So over here is the last of my muskmelons. You can see they're pretty well dying out. I got 3 more on it. Okay, well, my battery died, so I had to go change it. But this is what's left of my muskmelon. You can see there's several blooms over here, but most of the vine is dying out. Unfortunately, the raccoons got that one on me. I didn't pick it in time. I have one down here, one over there, and there's one, oh, right here. Oh, and one up by the hose. And one right here. So I really enjoyed those this year. This is the first year that I've had good luck with them. So I planted cantaloupe in the past, and they never come to fruition, but the muskmelon did. So to me, it tastes just like cantaloupe, but other people say it don't. This is a volunteer tomato that came up. I put a cage on it, and it got so heavy because the bed's not real deep, so I can't poke it in there real far, and it kept tipping over. So I added the square one around it, and it still kept tipping over. So I'm just picking them off it as it grows. I mean, it's pretty loaded with tomatoes. Oh, here's a couple more muskmelon. There's a little baby one over there. Oh, and another little baby one over there. So we'll see. You know, I'm just going to let them go as long as they can. And these should be turning, the bigger ones should start turning yellow any day. So I really have to check every day. The tomatoes along the fence aren't doing so good anymore. For some reason, the ones in the greenhouse are still loaded, but these are just looking terrible. Of course, it might be because they're over here by the fence that the raccoons are getting them more, because I've noticed they're broken down a lot and chewed on, and, you know, like half of the tomatoes missing. And so these were a combination. This was Amish paste, and that one was a Roma. These were all supposed to be Romas, but as you can see, the round ones are not Romas, so I don't know what I ended up with. Looks like I might have a few ripe in there that I need to pick. They're real close, so I'll have to keep an eye on those. My zinnias are pretty well done, but I'm just kind of letting them mellow there and drop their seeds, so hopefully they'll be seeded in the buckets for next year. That really helps for pollinators. This little row here is red bell peppers. And then these are green. I'm still getting quite a few peppers off of these. And this bed, by the way, is one that I just took pure chicken manure from off the poop board and spread on here last fall in this square, and look how great these plants did. It just sat there all winter and broke down, and So I think I'm going to do that again this fall. And I can go ahead and add to this. This was manure mixed in with bedding, and it didn't do nearly as well. So, yeah, I think I'll add the manure to everything this fall. Over here are my elderberries. I have 4 plants. I need to get those in the ground. We didn't put them in the ground this summer because we were afraid that they wouldn't get enough water. So I kept watering them. They've been in these pots for over a year now. So I really want to get them in the ground. We're going to plant them on the back side of the orchard over here. Spaced apart like the orchard trees are, so they have room to grow. This is my raspberries. They are so overcrowded in there. I want to do a project this winter where I'm digging them up and taking them out of here. This was great. They've been in here for 4 years, I think. And the first 3 was great. But this year, I got hardly any berries. They're just too overcrowded. So I do want to plant them in the ground on the far side over here. So I'm going to be doing a lot of moving of some stuff during the winter. So this is my strawberries. They really took a hit this summer with the excessive heat. I really tried to clean them out as far as the weeds and stuff and give them a good water, but we just have not been having the rain, and the watering system itself does not seem to be watering them enough. So this is my green beans, what's left. I do need to pick. And these are my 4 lonely cucumber plants that aren't doing so good. I do have a few here and there, like I said. Boy, the beans are loaded. I do need to get them picked. This is what's left of the watermelons. Watch for that video. I do have a bunch that I harvested that are in the house that I'm going to try and freeze dry. And my blueberries in the mineral tubs are not doing that well. I went to a ladies' homestead meeting this month, and they really recommend planting them in the ground. They do so much better, and they need heavy mulch. So that's another project I want to try and get done this fall, winter. I'm going to move them in the ground over here, probably about where these buckets are here, this row on down, and plant them about 5 feet apart. I want them far enough from the fence so that they can expand and I have room to get around it to pick them, because hopefully they'll get, pretty big bushes. And then at some point I'll have to build me like a trellis or something kind of thing over it that I can put bird netting or something to keep the birds out, because they will wipe them out. This year I just kind of put little fruit bags on each cluster of them, and that worked. But, once they get bigger and have berries all over them, that's not going to work too well. So this is the building materials I brought back away from the new coop that I built. Got all that cleaned up. As you see, I can still got cleanup to do from a storm over here where we lost our shed. We're going to try and piece it together and see if we can duct tape, but I'm not too hopeful. So that's my chicken brooder. I need to get it cleaned out and covered for the winter. That is not pressure treated wood, so it will unfortunately disintegrate. So some cleanup here I got to get done. This was grapes. Again, it was so hot and dry. I couldn't keep enough water on them. I think I might have even got them planted a little too late, so they just didn't seem to thrive. So I'll probably kind of do similar. I want the row of blueberries to come down this way, and then I'll have a row of raspberries, and then I want to put the grapes, or I may have the raspberries in 2 rows down at that end and just have the grapes at this end, because I want to be able to put an arch over them. So lots to come. So I just give you a little glimpse of the plans. Of course, pretty soon I'm going to get all these vines and everything out of here because I don't want them attracting bugs and overwintering the bugs. So I will take those up to our burn pile and burn them. I don't put those in the compost. The cucumbers and stuff like that, I don't know, they just get too many bugs and I just don't trust it. So over here to the right, this is blueberries also. They're doing better in these wooden beds than what they're doing in the buckets. I guess the plastic probably gets hotter than this. Plus it has a shade cloth over here to take some of the intense heat off. That might be helping some. But again, hopefully I can get all my blueberries all along that fence. I'll have to see. And then this is my blackberries. I need to go through and cut the canes off that provided fruits this year because they'll be dead. And all this is new canes that will be providing berries next year. So what I think I'm going to do here, once I get the raspberries out, I think I may add blackberries in this one too, because we really enjoy the blackberries, and typically I get enough for a couple cobblers or a cobbler and a batch of jelly, and that's pretty much it. So I would like to have some more blackberries than what we have. And, you know, so a lot of these are going to be long-term fruit providers, as hopefully the orchard will start producing. We did get like 3 early peaches this year. My husband ate one and the deer got the other 2. He was just getting ready to pick them and they were gone. So I need to get my berries revived and spread apart again. I want to kind of redo this bed a little bit as I do that. So I'm going to add sand to it because they do like a sandy soil and well drained. But the soil has really packed down and washed out a lot of it. That one you can see over there is really shallow. So I really need to build up the dirt basin here again. Of course, I got a lot of cleanup to do where this is where I just weeded and cleaned out the bed. And then, of course, the leaves are starting to fall, so it's going to make a mess in here too. We do keep a lot of the leaves. This is what I use for my compost. We put them through a shredder, and I add that in my compost bin, and it works super great. So let's go ahead and go out of the garden now to the other chickens. We're actually having hot weather again this week. We had a couple weeks of really nice weather in the 70s and 80s, and now we're back in the 90s. So hopefully you can see him in there. There's my big rooster. Several of my hens. So right now I have 15 hens in here. When I harvest the 4 oldest ones, that'll leave me with 11. So my hopes is then in the spring I will incubate several of these eggs and grow this flock back up to about 16 to 20. I could accommodate, I feel comfortable with 20 chickens in this coop. Wade's going to put a gate for me over here, and then I will be able to get the chickens out to free range in the orchard. But I'll do it at different times for this coop and that coop. So that is the newest coop that I built on the other side of the fence. That black rooster right there is one that's going to be harvested. And then there's a red one in there somewhere, a red and black one. And it's the other one that I'll keep. So that'll leave me with 2 Easter egger roosters in the rooster coop. I haven't decided if I'm going to take him out of the coop for the winter yet. That was not my plan. He may end up going in the rooster coop. It depends on how naked he starts getting the ladies. because I don't like them to be naked in the winter. So I lost one of my white leghorns a few days ago, so that was a little sad, but you know, it happens. I couldn't figure out the reason why. It didn't look like she had been attacked or anything, but she may have just had something wrong with her internally. So there's a little black bowl, rubber bowl over there. I like to keep water in that when it's hot for them to wade, so I need to get that filled up again for them. It helps them to cool off a lot. Oh, all my chickens are coming to say hi to me. Yeah, when I'm out here, they like to come up and see what I'm doing, don't yous? That's my girls. So also in that last storm, it did tear this tarp. So I will need to think of something to put over this. Probably for the winter. I haven't decided yet. I'm thinking a 10 by 12 should cover over the top and the length. I don't have a 10 by 12, so I'll have to get one. So this is the area where I had all that wire stored and weeds grown up, and that's a lot of the weeds that was here. So I got that all cleaned up, building materials. This board here I'm going to use for a dust bath in that coop, but I haven't got that done yet. That'll be a different video. And I still got to get that to the burn pile and burn it. The reason this is open for the roosters is in the heat and stuff for airflow. For the winter time, I do close this up. So they have a solid wall here. This is the north side. And this is my newest coop, the newest ladies. All 10 of the white leghorns have been laying. And at least 2 of the Rhode Island Reds. The white leghorns are great egg layers. They start earlier than the other chickens. They started right at 4 months. And the eggs seem like they get bigger faster because when they first lay, they're just little itty bitty. And I already have several that are full size. But looks like a couple of them are. And these chickens are so funny. I put nesting pads in their box and they throw them out. And when each other's lay their eggs, they throw them out on the ground. So strange chickens they are. I was able to get this whole coop cleaned up. So this is all new bedding with since I've been home from the hospital. I've just had to do little bits here and there. But again, they're very social birds. They hear me coming and they come check me out. So so this is the orchard. Some of the trees look a little pathetic now. Of course, it's getting to be fall, but we thought this one was dead. But it's got leaves, as you can see, so hopefully it'll be fine. These 2 trees are American persimmons trees. So this is a replacement tree I got this year. It's looking a little peaked right now. It's lost a lot of its leaves. But I do see a lot of new buds for limbs on it. So hopefully, this is a Bartlett pear. That was a replacement tree I bought this year. As you can see, that tree's getting pretty tall. That, I think, is a moonglow pear. So this first row here is pears. And that is the early peach tree that had peaches on it. Looks like a deer or something had broke the limb, so I need to come out and trim that up. But I'm waiting for the leaves to fall to actually do the winter pruning. So I have had some problems with bugs. Some of the leaves on some of the things is real lacy. So I'm trying to figure out a good organic solution. I mean, I could spray neem oil, which would be fine. Like this month when we haven't had any rain, it probably would have worked. I should have done that. So these are peaches. I have 2 rows of peaches. I have the Harvester peaches, and I also have the Villa Georgia peaches. And I had a couple cherry trees, but one died. That was over here somewhere. So I need to get another. This is a pie cherry tree, so I'd like to get a Bing to cross-pollinate with it. It looked really good early in the year. This is one of those that just, the leaves are just so lacy and eaten up, so I hope it's not killing the tree. But it looks like there's lots of fresh buds on here, so I'm hoping it will come back because it looked really good early in the season. The next 2 trees are both plum trees. As you can see, they're all getting tall. I do need to do some pruning to thin out branches for airflow. And the last 2 rows are apple trees. And these are every other one. I have a Honeycrisp, and then a Golden Delicious, a Honeycrisp, and then another Golden Delicious. Up here I have a couple Gravensteins. They're great for apple pies. And I have a couple Galas. So our hopes is that as our orchard grows and starts really producing, not only will it produce enough for us, but enough that we will be able to sell some and use as income. Because on Social Security, it's not cutting it. So we also sell eggs, but if you're looking at raising chickens just for eggs, that's not going to be enough, to pay for all the feed. I spend over $200 a month on feed just for the chickens that I have. And right now I have 55 layers. And I forget how many roosters. But like I said, I'm going to be butchering, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. I think 4 or 5 roosters and 4 to 6 hens. So 4 out of this one and potentially 2 out of the Easter eggers. Which will cut down my feed bill, I bet. 10 is, probably a bag of feed a week, or not quite a bag of feed a week. But I hope you've enjoyed our update. Just wanted to kind of let you know and get the heads up on what's going on with me. I do go next week for the biopsies. Hopefully I'll get the results pretty quick on those. I do have a follow-up with my pulmonologist on the 24th. I noticed I'm coughing again this morning. Still not nearly as bad as I used to, but I only have a couple more days on prednisone, steroids. And I know last time I had a bad flare-up with sarcoidosis, I was on some kind for almost a year. It was terrible, and of course it trashed my bones. I have terrible osteoporosis because of it. So I really don't want to be on it for a year. But we talked about potentially a low dose to kind of help it, because that's all that kind of shrinks those a little bit. So I appreciate your thoughts and prayers. I'm optimistic that hopefully it's just the sarcoidosis, but if not, then God will help me deal with it. So thank you so much for watching Jimmy Branch Homestead. Take care and God bless.